Hello, I'm Harrison Keeley. Here's a quick look at today's top stories. First of all, 2 days after an inch of snow sent Chattanooga into chaos, we're beginning to get a clearer picture of the storm. The local 911 center received about 3,500 calls. That's more than there were during the April 2011 tornadoes. And the high number of car wrecks included 4 patrol cars and 8 school buses. Thankfully, authorities say the buses weren't seriously damaged and no injuries were reported on board. Now people are asking what happened. How did the school system mess up so badly? Superintendent Rick Smith says he was watching forecasts 24 hours before the snow fell, but wasn't notified of potential snowfall until it was almost here at 9 a.m. Tuesday. While some schools scrambled to get buses on the roads, others didn't run buses at all. Parents we spoke to say they were told their kids would be released early, but they weren't told when buses didn't go out. In many cases, parents waited hours for kids to get safely home, when in fact the buses never started in the first place. Now, Smith says school officials will review how to handle weather emergencies in the future. But as bad as roads were here, traffic problems were far worse in Atlanta. Chattanooga State President Jim Catanzaro was one of thousands caught on Interstate 285 as it turned into a parking lot. He was stuck inside his car for 13 hours in the 10-degree weather. Eventually, he steered into a ditch and drove the wrong way for more than a mile through the grassy snow to escape. By the time he made it to Chattanooga, he had spent 25 hours in his car. It was 1 week ago today that Southern Adventist University was forced into its first ever campus-wide lockdown, but now some are questioning whether the alleged threat was just a joke gone wrong. A new court affidavit reveals a telling conversation suspect James Gaines had with Keisha Caldwell, director of enrollment at Chattanooga State. The former Southern Adventist student said he was having trouble getting the transcript he needed from the university, despite having paid his bill. Afterwards, Caldwell sent an email to Chattanooga State Police about the conversation. The affidavit reads, quote, "I have done all I can think to do except put a gun to their head." Caldwell said, "You can't say things like that." He said, I know, you can't say things like that nowadays." Later he said, "I guess I will go back to Southern and try to pick up my transcript and strap a bomb on me." Caldwell responded, "What did I tell you about talking like that?" He said, "I know, I'm sorry, I'm just kidding." Gaines never went to Southern after making those comments. Instead, he got some food at Taco Bell and went to work. But his comments led to a 2-hour lockdown at the school, including police and SWAT gear and assault rifles. Gaines, who has no previous arrests and no weapons, could face a minimum of 3 years in prison for making false reports. He'll appear in court on February 6th. A new state audit has slapped Meigs County with 20 findings, and auditors say 16 of the findings were repeats that the county officials failed to correct. More than half of all the findings were in the finance director's office. Problems include the way the office handles payroll, purchasing, budgeting, and grant administration. In fact, auditors wouldn't even describe some of the problems because security in the finance office is so lacking. For their part, Meigs County officials say they're working now to address the findings. There have been plenty of complaints about traffic clogs at the Signal Mountain Road exit on Highway 27. The problem started when a new traffic light was placed at the end of the busy off-ramp, but TDOT says the clog is only temporary and adjustments are now being made to improve traffic flow. Finally, in sports news, Barry Loyal is stepping aside as the football coach at Chattanooga Christian. Loyal was the Chargers head coach all 5 years of varsity competition. He says he's enjoyed coaching at the school, but it's simply time for a change. Turning to weather, today will be sunny with a high near 39 degrees. The low tonight will be around 18. That's it for today's newscast. Thanks for being with us. You can find more on these stories and breaking news all day long at timesfreepress.com.